Welcome back, everybody, to the Warlord of SBAS plays Torment, Tides of Numenera, episode 76. Last time we talked to Rin about her past, actually learned her past now, and we bought somebody. How fun! From the slave markets. Cody. We're gonna finish up in this area of the bloom by talking to Waits for Prey, which will most likely immediately attack us, but hey, it's there. Might as well poke it. A metal construct stands before you, silent and still. Its armor is pitted and ancient, spiked in with metal thorns. Instead of arms, the construct has long killing blades, sharpened to a gleaming edge. At first, you're unsure if the thing is still alive, but as you step closer, you can hear faint hisses and whirs from inside its armor. You sense a mind inside the machine. It is a mind of an alien, though. So alien that, though you can hear it, you can't understand its thoughts. Who are you? The construct stirs, the voice emanates from somewhere in its depths. It has a hollow, empty sound, as if it speaks from a vast cavern on the ground. I am a soldier, a predator. My names are as numerous as the wars in which I have fought. But those wars are finished now, and I have left my names behind. So really, you remember some of your names? Some. I remember all of my names. Enric, Sirius 14, Gansher, Mark 10. When I was a bodyguard too. Fantasy name. He called me the Barber of Flesh. And made of me a boogeyman, feared and hated in every nation he conquered. The construct says nothing after that, but the hisses and whirs inside its armor make a great deal of noise for what it seems a long time. Who created you? I do not know, nor have I ever known. They called all record of themselves from our minds. I only remember those for whom I fought. And there have been many such masters, over many long millennia of service. For a time, I believe my siblings and I slept. I do not know how long. Then we were awoken by a new master, the Tibet. You fought for them until they were no more. You fought for the Tibet? What do you remember about them? Much. They ruled the land as warlords before the building of Sigis Cliffs. They were slaves to an edifice known as the Ender Spine, yet they were its masters as well. I do not know where they came from, or who they were before they rose to power. But those things have happened before they awakened me. I remember this too. They held a single combat at the highest virtue, revealing the quality of one's soul. Believed that we had powerful souls, my siblings and I, for none of them could defeat us alone. They fought as two-legged beasts, brandishing weapons of another age, unearthed from great hoards beneath the ground. That is also where they found me and my siblings. They awakened us, spoke the proper words, so we killed on their command. Yeah, I have some other questions? Ask them and I will answer if I can. What are you doing here? Waiting. The word is hollow and cold for those who are strong and feared, for the predators who walk the bloom. They come here at time to challenge me. If I prove myself to be a predator above all others, I believe that the bloom tongues will catch my scent. They clicks and hisses from inside the construct's armor and suddenly be quiet. Go quiet. Wish to be devoured by the bloom. Have you not seen those who have passed through the gullet of the bloom? Every trace of who they were has been stripped from them. They are freed from the trappings of memory and self reborn. killing powerful predators make you more appeasing to the bloom? So I believe. The construct is silent for a moment, as if considering. I have observed the patterns of its hunger over many feeding cycles. Always it has those who prey on others, who draw the attention of the bloom tongues. The greater the predator, the more powerful their victims, the more the bloom desires them. The construct's voice becomes less hollow, higher pitched, and more greeting. I have killed many, so many. I have torn men and beasts asunder, left their bones and entrails to petrify as an other offering to the bloom's tongues, and still it will not devour me. Why does it wait? I cannot know. Why do you crave rebirth? How many years have you lived? Only a few, judging by the firmness of your flesh. In that time, the horrors have you witnessed, or perpetrated? Do they slip into your mind in unguarded moments? Perhaps they do. Whatever horrors you have seen, multiple times by 1,000, but multiply them by 1,000, 100,000, across a vast grinding millenniums of wars. Now imagine that you cannot forget, cannot even distract yourself with other memories. Do you know what I remember? Only those things that would make me a better killer. Every severed limb, every god of heart's blood, every cruel execution before a cheering crowd. All else is lost. For that is how my creators fashioned my brain. This is why I crave rebirth and forgetfulness. You claim to be troubled by the violent things you've seen and done, but you're a killing machine. Why should those things bother you? A long moment passes before the construct speaks. I have pondered that question for all the years since I woke in your world, and also during the long eons of my sleep. For centuries I felt no such revelation at the memories of my past, where every time of the horror grew in my mind, and in the midst of all my brethren. Construct passes again as if concerning its next words. I have come to believe that our creators intended this. Perhaps they understood the terrors that could visit upon the world, and this was their way of ensuring that we would not endure forever. If our foes did not destroy us, then we would be driven to destroy ourselves. I haven't met anyone who's been eaten by the bloom and lived. Walk the edge of the city monster for long enough and you will meet them. A series of lights flash in quick succession on one side of the construct's face plate. Even now I can taste the transcendental footfalls of one such man. You may find it in the vast interior space beyond the arterial openings there. The construct gestures with one bladed arm to its right. Once he possessed a name that was well known in this place. Before it was stolen by another. Now he walks alone, forgotten and without fear. Some other questions? What are all these bones and armor on the ground? Detroit is a beasted man. It is all the remains of those who sought to best me. Almost rove across the ground and flick up. Okay, it's a flirt. It says flirt. What do you know about Drakon? He is a predator of sorts, but subtler than most. I have observed him as one hunter watches another from afar, but I cannot fathom what he truly wants, what he sees not at all, what he is. Do you mean that Dracon isn't all that he seems? No. The hollow voice is sharper and somehow more dangerous. The words I spoke were exactly what I meant. Why don't you challenge Dracon to combat? Construct head turns to Dracon's direction, even though the gray skinned man is not actually visible from here. Obscured as he is by the crushed katana. It's not that Construct eyes can see him plainly. Along here, series of whirring and humming sounds from inside his Construct's head, as if the creature is considering your words. Then at long last it turns its head back to you. No, even I would not dare. Words are firm without with a note of finality. I have some other questions. Ask them and I will answer if I can. Well, I could have him kill me. I don't see a reason to do that. I could challenge him to combat. Huh. Do I want to fight him? I could maybe win. I'm not as weak as I once was. Huh. You know what? Why not? I want to challenge you to combat. The construct blade's arm suddenly clenched, whirring into a new configuration with such speed that your eyes cannot follow. A moment ago they seemed slick and cylindrical like a dragon's well-honed knife. They're jagged and cruel. Why would you ask this? His voice is only different, higher pitched and graining like a scrap of a hacksaw across a rough metal surface. You know, he doesn't force people to fight him. People come to him to fight. So I don't really feel that it's completely immoral. After so many others have failed, I want to be known as the one who finally defeated you. Arrogant. The hiss of air escapes from the construct's head as if frustration. It is the way of your kind to throw away your lives in pursuit of renown, when renown is merely a bid for immortality, what you will never actually enjoy. You excel at self-deception, if nothing else. No, I will not fight you. Faster than your eyes can follow, the blade arms swing up back down to their sleek original shape, and the voice becomes hollow and once more. In the eyes of the bloom, you are no great predator. No purpose would be served by your death. Leave me to watch, and do not challenge me again. No, alright, I'll leave you alone. Sears of light flash beneath this construct's face on that plate, but it makes no audible reply. Bye. So I believe that's everything I can do in this area. So I think this is the way back to the Sigis Cliffs. I think, and this is far further in, if I'm guessing. Does the map tell me? Menvor's Fortress, the vast interior. Alright. So Menvor's where I'm supposed to go, so I'm gonna check the vast interior first. Seems like the logical thing to do. Always check out every inch of the place first. Because I'm anal retentive like that. Blah, blah, blah.
So that was the sorrow in its full power, Castoff? What else have you been hiding from me?
There's That is what being immortal means, Calestige. Facing enemies you can't possibly imagine, who want to destroy you simply for existing. Then I don't want that. She covers her ears with her hands as she echoes grow more and more agitated. None of us do. She quietens and stares at you with a mixture of disgust and despair and admiration. How can I stay with you? She asks, taking a step back. How can you ask this for me? Knowledge. That's why I started this path with him. Is it still enough? No, definitely not that one. I don't feel that's right either. I think we can solve this together. What possible solution could there be? She stares at you in horror. And what matters is that I cannot bring myself to refuse you. She falls quiet and eventually comes to stand by your side. For good or ill. With you, child. Does she still like me? There's a way to check. I forgot how to do that. Ah, yes. Oh, she still loves me. Strange. Alright, let's
yes.
Nope, that's where I came from. Random organ. Bridge. Random organ.
Yes.
Caravan guard. Anine. Merchant. Mouth. Past the ends entered by an enormous fanged mouth.
As you wish.
Can I talk to you people? Probably not the guards, maybe the merchants. Ah, merchants will talk to me. The two merchants turn toward you. One is the heavy-set human with a large head and a wide bony face. The other is particularly thin and sickly-looking Virgilian. Its head crest is decorated with symbols that are unknown to you. Both are dressed in rich clothing. I hope you weren't planning to visit the Ascension, friend, says the human whose face is set in a permanent frown. Only road was in there. He gestures toward the massive jaw that has closed over the far end of the platform. What happened here? As we approach the entrance, gross teeth, says the immaculated Virgilian. It speaks with a strange, halting accent, as if the truth is not its native tongue. The teeth got back and turned into a great jaw. Down it comes, swift and cruel. All this happens fast, in time it takes to walk 5 steps. Human grimaces. The bloom's good for 3 things, friend. Farting up smoke to burn your eyes, pissing foul water for us to drink, and eating whoever or whatever it likes. I hate this place. Too bad it's a good road to make some shins. Or wasn't it, anyway. We're headed for the trade post? Where else the Ascension has its own perils, but it's blessed with a bounty of useful things. Unlike this place, trying to get anyone to pay for a hunk of quivering bloom flesh. The merchant scowls and spits. We're trading crystals from Ascension Place. Good business there, bad business here. Virgilian attempts to scowl and spit on the same manner as his friend, but only manages to spray the front of his garment with a bluish fluid from its nose slits. Nerd. What are you gonna do now? The Gristle Man asked us to go with him into the depths of the boom, seek out other mouths, jaws, maws that lead to trade posts. We are not stupid. We say no. The vigilant twisted its face into a deep frown, a remarkable imitation of his companion. Curly has been practicing. Now, if I find another way, I'll come and tell you. The merchant raises a bushy eyebrow. That's charitable of you. Which makes me assume you have some nefarious motive. But pay it no mind. I have a pessimistic nature. You and me both. It's probably just talk. He won't find anything. If he does, he won't be back up for us. I'm trying to get to their attention. What can you tell me about it? The world made of crystal like this. The vigilant plucks a finger-sized gemstone from its pocket. It seems to quiver on its own accord, as if it is alive. All things in Ascension made of crystal. Living creatures, too. It is a cold and dark place. The sun is too small in the sky. We don't venture far from the gate, adds the human. Nobody does, if they're smart. You have anything to trade? Not yet. We offer salts and dyes and alchemical powders to our contact in the Ascension. It, whatever it is, absorbs what it likes and gives us crystalline artifacts in return. If we ever manage to get there, then I might have something for it to trade. You can try the flesh merchant on the next platform. He turned to his companion. What's his name again? Sunderman. The name is Sunderman, like Slenderman. The vigilant bobs its head each time it speaks the name. 2 men he is, but also 1. Alright. What about Gristler? You have a name. Bloom guides. Hey, just previously to old-dressed merchant. Hey, you conversation with a wiry man who is wearing a sort of odd-looking leathers and hides. I've seen you. The weary fellow shoos the merchants away and turns it in your direction. Instead of feet, you notice that he has 2 hand-like appendages fashioned from metal and synth. Indeed, both of his legs have been replaced with artificial arms that appear remarkably flexible. Looking for a trade post? The wiry man flashes the left-side grin and jabs a thumb at the giant toothy jaw behind you. Used to be in there till the bloom got hungry and they eat it. At least I think that's what happened. Never can tell with the big old sack of guts we call home. How am I supposed to get through the Ascension? One of the merchants glares at the wiry fellow. That's just what we were asking him. Only one way to the Ascension gate, and that's through the trade post, just like I said. The wiry man squints at the merchant as if daring him to push a little further. Surprisingly, the merchant looks away, the fight going out of him. All this interest in the Ascension lately. Could be the bloom have foreseen something. The wiry man turns back to you. Knowing the bloom like I do, I bet that the trade post is still around here somewhere. You might find a mall that'll take you there if you look hard enough. Bloom never closes off a path for long, but finding it again, that's a whole different story.
I'll remember that.
His name's Gristler, by the way. Bloom God, explorer, and scout. 3 times eaten by the bloom and still intact. Well, mostly. He wiggles the artificial fingers on one of his wrists. Huh. Where would I go to look for a maw? Crystal Purse's life used to be I could answer that question easy enough. I'd tell you just where to find them, where to they lead, and what to feed them. But something got the bloom all riled up, and she's opening and closing mouths however she likes. He shakes his head disapprovingly, as if talking about his own disobedient child. Change is coming. I can smell it. Figuratively, anyway. So if I was you, I'd try the darkest corners of the gut bag I could find. Dank in most places. That's where the mods like to rip themselves into being. The slums are a good place to start. Little Dialish, Churgan slump, foul little holes full like that. I have no idea. Can you tell me a little bit more about the slums? Gristle lets out a long puff of air, and you're fairly certain that his breath is the same color as the fizz smoke emitted by the bloom itself. Certainly it smells near as bad. Well now, he says, rocking back on his heels of his hand feet. From where we are right now here, you can find your way through to 3 of them. Little nut, blah, all the funny looking mutants live. Jurgen Slump, where folk go to get their bodies hacked or healed, and the old slave block. It makes a star face. Folks don't go there at all unless they're Murdens but Murdens don't really count as folk. Tell me about little Blah. Just Chrysler nods. First of all, it ain't so little. I guess it's bigger than other slums by half. It used to be called something else before the mutants moved in, but nobody remembers that old name. See, the mutants got here through the maw. They used to come and go as they please, trading goods from here and there, making all manner of shins. Somebody should have warned them that maws are ordinary beasts, and they never do that same thing for too long. Sure enough, one day it ended up in closed, and all the mutants on this side got trapped in the bloom. Been stuck here ever since. Funny thing about the little Nelash, folk on the side of the bloom like to pitch their rubbish in here, straight into the narrowest tube or sphincter. But no matter where they dump their trash, it all finds its way to Blah. Don't know how or why, I guess that's just where the bloom likes to keep it. He smiles fondly, and again you get the sense that he's talking about a much beloved child. How about the Jurgen Slump? Gristler brightens. That's where I get fitted with these. He taps his metal and Sith arms that double as his legs. Couple of nice fellas help. Then when the bloom ate my legs. They were a little cold, I'll admit. They lacked any of their social graces, kept calling me by number rather than my name. Bloom blessed their doctors, even if they enjoyed their work a little too much. Nowadays, the slump is under the protection of a bunch of sorter types. Deserts, I hear, from some battle that never ends. Chrysler shakes his head. Imagine that, fighting in an endless battle. Should have thought it through before they signed up. That's what I say. Yeah. Well, I'm going to end the episode here. And next time, we're going to continue talking to this guy, Gristler. So until next time, remember, embrace the chaos or you go mad. Bye.